Hello folks, I'm back out in the garage again today. Today my main focus is to get the front bumper off of this thing. For some reason I think it's going to be a pretty big pain in the butt, but if I get that off quick, then I'll go ahead and start cleaning things up, getting ready for sanding. I've got a board across here and stuff everywhere, so I get ready for sanding this thing and get it ready for primer. But I'll probably do the bumper today and then clean up some and then come back out tomorrow and do some sanding. And I'll bring you along for the ride. Well, I'm taking a little break. Hope you can see me with that door open back there. Been working on this bumper now for 2 hours. I've got 3 bolts off. I had to cut them off because of the way the bumper was bent on the top. There's just no way to get to them because I guess the brackets are bent too, and it's got the bolts angled at a way that you can't get a socket in there. You can't do anything. So I'm got one more to cut off, and then I'm hoping that the bottom bolts, being as there's some relief there, will be able to be unbolted regularly. But it ain't pretty. I'll definitely have to do some doctoring on that bumper before I put it on, and it'll have to be spray painted silver. But it is what it is. Okay, this bumper's been a pain in the butt. Let me show you how hard this thing is to get off. Yeah. I had to cut all but 2 of the bolts in order to get it to this point. My goodness. Yeah. I think I'm in the market for a new bumper and new bolts. I'm going to call it a day. But I will be back. I'll film some more next time I come out and add it to this video. While I was up here fiddle farting around after I got done taking the bumper off, I decided to go ahead and try to see if I could figure out how to take those 2 chrome pieces off. I got them. They weren't that hard. Just little 3/8 nuts. But one thing I am noticing, I noticed in the last video when I was talking about taking the bumper off that there was a dent here. And I didn't really pay much attention to this brace here. But this brace is all twisted and pushed back up against here. This is all pushed in. It was actually in further. I actually pulled it out a little bit. But this brace is going to have to come off here. There's one down in there. Yep, right there. And then up here, it attaches from above. So I got a whole bunch of stuff on the hood right now, so I'm not going to take that off, but it won't be too hard to take off and straighten and then get this panel here straight, which means the bumper won't go in right. But who knows what kind of bumper this thing is going to get. I might be able to straighten some of that bumper out with hydraulic. I was thinking with hydraulic jacks and things of this nature to try to get it somewhat back to where it's supposed to be. And then I did do some damage whenever I ground off the bolts. So those areas will have to be, especially where the hole is here and here. It's not a hole, almost though. I'll have to do a little doctoring on that with the welder probably, but I don't know that it'll ever. It's never going to look right, but for what I need it to do, it'll be fine until I can afford to buy a new bumper and probably new brackets, because I think these, especially these top brackets here, are probably bent in a way that won't allow it to really a new bumper that's in the right place to mate up correctly. We'll have to see. But anyway, that's where I stand, and I am indeed going to call it a day today. Okay, folks, I'm back out in the garage again today to continue on with this video. Today I'm going to be using my friend, the Bauer surface conditioning tool, and we're going to use it along the bed rail here, or the tailgate, the top of the tailgate, and some other spots here, and then along that top bed rail over there. So, see how much we get done today. Hopefully I'll also get some sanding done, and trying to get this thing closer to being ready for the primer surfacer from Rustoleum. I'll let you watch what you're doing, watch what I'm doing, and bring you along for the ride. You guys have heard me complain about the cold before, I'm sure. I'm not complaining about it being hot, but I tell you what, after being cold for so long, this warmer weather really makes you sweat a lot, you know? It's hotter than a coon dog on a fresh set of tracks. Anyway, let me get busy. Well, this 40 grit wheel here it's working, but not like it did up there. It's creating quite a bit of heat. I'm not really worried about it warping anything on this, but I'm gonna try putting one of the other wheels on it and see if it might take things off a little better. I doubt it, but we'll see. All right, I don't know if I've ever really gotten into this tool much. I know I've showed me using it several times, but if you're going to be buying one of these, whether it be the one from Bauer or the one from Eastwood, they're pretty much identical. A couple things you need to know. One is the wheels are directional. As you can see here, got a thing, and the bolt that holds the wheels on is left-handed threads. So to take it off, you need to go that way. I said the wheels. Not all of the wheels are directional. The 40 grit is not. So that's not such a bad thing. But this one is. So you have to have these things in there to hold it in place. It does have a thing here to lock it, I think. Yeah, it does. So that you can tighten it down really good. That little button is right there. Just push that in, it locks it. And I wish I could give you a size on this, but unfortunately, it doesn't come with a size on it. So, but anyway, that's all there is to changing the wheels on those things. Now let's see how well it works. This one is the 120 grit, so I'm kind of not expecting it to work quite as good as the 40, but the 40 was pretty wore out, so we'll see how it goes. I can show you this. The 40 grit leaves this. I don't know if you can. It's focusing or not. Doesn't look like it is. Anyway, it's a nice shiny, clean metal. Whereas the 120 grit, it's clean, but it doesn't take as much of the rust off as the 40 grit. So I'm going to put the 40 grit back on, I guess, and just continue on with that until I wear it slap out. I'll bring you back in a minute. Okay, I got the old wheel back on. What I did was I noticed that the 40 grit wheel was pretty, had gotten accustomed to going in one direction. So now I'm going to try to change it to where it might be a little bit more coarse, going the opposite direction that it was going before, and hopefully that'll help take things off a little faster. It worked really great up there on the hood, on the top, and on the hood. So let's see. One of the bad parts about these wheels is, I don't know if you can see that from there, but when it gets to a certain size, this is actually bigger than the abrasive portion of the wheel. So you start dragging this along the edge of what you're working on. So I'll have to, when I do the bed rail over there, I'll have to make sure that I keep the bed rail, keep this off to the side of the truck, and I'll be pulling it in that direction. So far, everything's looking pretty good. Okay, bring you guys in and show you what I got. This back tailgate looks pretty good. It's probably got a line there that, well, I know it's got a line there, but I don't think that it's going to show up in the paint, especially after we do the high build primer. There is a couple of little small dents, one right there and one right there, I don't know if I'm going to worry about that or not. I might. If I do, then I'll also take care of this area right here where I welded up that hole that Dad put in there for the camper topper one time. And then there's a dent right there that I didn't know was there before. It doesn't feel to go out into this area here, so I'm thinking just a little bit of putty right in there will be fine. And another small ding right there. If I was really anal about it, I would probably go in and fill some of these areas that are pretty badly pitted, but and that's the other weld hole there that I welded up. So, but most of these things aren't, you can't even feel them. That you can see them, but it's just, I guess, just slightly lower than the metal. But the rust has come out of them, so I'm pretty confident that they'll be okay, at least in my lifetime. So that's where I stand today, and now I'll start getting ready to do a little bit of DA sanding. I might start the DA sanding right back here. See if I can get that all kind of sanded down. Or I may just start on the, I don't know where I'm going to start. Anyway, I'm going to start the DA sanding. Okay, while I'm taking a break, I guess I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm going to start back here and work my way around, or my way around. I don't know which way I'm going to go, but I'll show a little bit of this DA sanding on this quarter panel, but I'm not going to bore you guys with the whole DA sanding the whole truck. I'll just bring you in and show you when I get it done. It probably won't be this video, but in the next video I'll have it all sanded and ready for primer. But yeah, I'm not going to bore you with all that, so I'll do a couple of closing words here in a minute, and after I get done sanding this one quarter panel, and then we'll call this one done. Okay, before I start sanding, I wanted to say something. I'm going to be sanding the truck initially with 120. A lot of you body guys will go, oh my God, but this has got a lot of small blemishes in it, and actually dirt from sitting for years and years and years that I don't have the water out in my garage. The truck isn't running. I can't just pull it out and take it around to where the water hose is in the front of the house and wash the truck, so I'm going to sand it off. So I'll go with 120 first, and then come back over the entire truck with 220. I'll put you a picture of the Rustoleum guidelines, which says for this primer to sand with 120 to 220 grit. So either way, even if 120 cleans everything up nice and I don't have to worry about it, I'm still okay. It should fill the scratches from 120 all the way up to 220 or higher. And then once the surface is painted with the Rustoleum, then I'll sand with a higher, numerically higher grit paper to get a good idea of where I stand as far as little things go. But sorry, I just turned 65. I get all kinds of phone calls for people wanting to sign me up to Medicare, which happens automatically. Anyway, so I'll sand with a numerically higher, say 320, 400, whatever I can get. I'll probably have to go back to that same store where I got the 36 grit from to get some wet dry paper, and then I'll wet sand the whole thing. Before I wet sand, I will go to the store. I don't think I have any here. I'll go to the store and get some Rustoleum flat black, just spray bomb, and mist the whole truck with flat black. And that's what they call a guide coat. You can see how hot it is out here by the sweat that I'm getting all over the truck, or at least how well I'm tolerating it. But anyway, I spray the flat black on to give you a guide coat, and then you wet sand. And once you've gone through the guide coat and everything is smooth, you're good to go for color. So that's kind of an explanation of what I'm doing. I know it's not correct to do this without washing the truck first. I don't have that option, unfortunately, without a bucket, and then even then you don't get all the soap off. So this is how I'm going to do it. Work or not, I'm sure that it will. But whether you guys are used to seeing something like that or not, I don't know. But this is the way I'm doing it. Like I said, don't follow my advice. It might not even sound right, and that probably doesn't. But let me get busy. The compressor finally caught up. Okay, this is how it turns out when you use 120. Everything's nice and red. I know this is not the best lighting, but it takes it down pretty quick. You have to move fast, as you saw me doing. I'll probably speed that up, or I probably did speed that up, but you have to move pretty quick. Otherwise, you do take off more than what you want. There's a lot of dust created, a lot of sanding scratches that were in it before are now gone. I tried not to concentrate on the areas that I've already worked body work, except for feathering around the outsides. That way I don't disturb any flatness or anything that I've already worked for. Just in case you're a novice to doing body work and painting your cars in your garage, I just want to let you know that this type of sander is an absolute no-no. You really need a DA sander, a double action sander like this for this kind of work. And the reason why is because the double action sander, not only does it go around and around circles, but it also does this number as it's going around and around in that circle. It's got a weight right there that causes it to move around, and I don't know how else to explain it. Now you can turn this wheel to where it is nothing but circular, and when you do that, you get more of a grinding action than you do a sanding action. This sander does nothing but make little circles, all in your paint that you're sanding, or whatever you're sanding, whether it be wood or anything. It'll leave little circles. I don't really know what that little sander is good for. Getting in small places, I know that. Areas that you don't worry about, I guess. But if you're wanting a decent finish, this is not the sander to use. So I'm going to do a little outro, and then I'll, off camera, do some more sanding. Okay, well, you've seen me get the rust off of the bed rail over there, the tailgate, the top of the tailgate where it has the most rust. You see me sand this fender. I've taken off both bumpers. I've completed the body work on all these areas here, which completed the body work on the truck as far as I know. There I may put a little bit of Bondo in some of the little dents I found whenever I was going over those with the surface conditioning tool, but for the most part the body work's done. So I'm going to get the sanding, and I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. If you don't mind seeing a guy painting a truck with what somebody determined to be a 3-year paint job, not true. But if you enjoy that kind of thing, please like and subscribe, and come back and see more videos, and leave me some comments if you like. Doesn't matter if they're, you know, if you're giving me advice or whatever, I'll take it. I might not agree with you all the time, but I will reply. I will respond. Thanks again.